Welcome to Him Empire, guys. Good morning to you all, and please excuse me for the noise because it's raining hard in here, and I'm in the yard. So yeah. Anyways, good morning to you all, and today I'm going to be reviewing our SANTRO, which is I didn't really knew that it was quirky. We all know that, especially the Indians, that the new SANTRO have come. Everybody loves the SANTRO there, and that's why Hyundai relaunched the SANTRO like a more revised version. But did you actually forget the old SANTRO? Those who have owned the SANTRO might not have, and those who have not owned the SANTRO also might not have. And I actually found out that the SANTRO, the old one, is actually pretty quirky as well. So let's move on to the quirks on the outside. So first let's move on to the front of this car. Now up front it looks really clean. There is nothing really quirky or unusual up in the front. It has two ginormous headlights at the front and a bent number plate, but that's all. And I'm gonna pop up in the bonnet for you. Let's see the bonnet. Where is it? Oh, here. It's actually pretty easy to open the bonnet. It's not very hard. Alright. Pop it open. Alright, let's find the cat here somewhere. Here, this one. Oh my god, this is heavy. Boy, move. Whew. That is heavy. That is absolutely heavy. I might need to pause this video for a moment. And with some great amount of force and pressure, I managed to open the bonnet and keep it open, which signifies that this bonnet is not the lightest of all. Anyways, let's take a look at this engine. I want you to guess which engine it is. If you guess correctly, then write down in the comments below. So this is a 4-cylinder, and before telling the horsepower, I want you to guess again and tell me in the comments. Alright, you guessed? Alright. So the horsepower of this car was considered way higher when this was new. It had very big power and very big torque than its rivals such as Maruti Suzuki 800 and Alto. So it had like almost 20 more horsepower, maybe more, maybe less, but almost 20 more horsepower. And I don't know about the torque, sorry for that. And this car, SANTRO, this is actually called the I'll show you in a minute. Look, it's actually called the Zing GL model, and the horsepower in this car by modern standards is absolutely ridiculous, and but it had way more horsepower. Yeah, so this engine has 63 horsepower. Yes, that's right, 63 horsepower. That is what you see in go-karts nowadays. And 91 pound-feet of, no, not pound-feet, 91 Newton-meters of torque. 91 Newton-meters. Now when I heard this, I couldn't actually stop laughing. So I am... Oh! Boy, the horn in this car is absolutely ginormous. Take a look. Here is the ginormous SANTRO horn. Now when you hear the horn, it clearly signifies that it is not a car. It is basically a truck with 4 seats. Yeah. Now moving on to the back of this car, it is actually fairly simple, and there are some bits of plastic in there, and the rear lights, they look like headlights. They're absolutely massive. Look at those 2 headlights. You basically think that they are 2 headlights instead of backlights. Alright, so now let's open the boot of this car. Alright. Oh. Whoa. Oh. What's going down? Oh. You have to push it really hard. And okay. So this is the boot of the SANTRO. Sorry for that stuff. Clear that. And take a look at this. You have 4. That's right, 4 speakers on here. 1, 2, 3, 4 speakers, and both ones in the middle are absolutely ginormous. And in the side they're absolutely cheap looking, but sadly they don't work. Absolutely awesome. Now moving on to the interior of this car. First I want to tell you that this is a second-hand car. And the problem with that is the locks. Look at this. When I lock and unlock the car, this lock, that lock, and that lock works. But when I press the lock button, the unlock button here, other one opens, this one doesn't move at all. You have to manually push it. Now this is one of the crazy quirks of our second-hand SANTRO. Next there is the cup holder situation, and the door, pretty much no doors have any cup holders. Not a single door has any cup holder. Basically every other car has cup holder. When this car was launched, some other models had cup holders, but this car don't have it because the leg room is not all that much, and SANTRO couldn't find a way to stick a cup holder in. And so the only cup holders in this car is on the center console. You have 2 little tiny cup holders, 1 small and 1 big on there, and then 1 cheeky little small cup holder underneath the handbrake. Best of luck to put a drink on. That is it. This is like a 4-seater hatchback, and it has like 3 cup holders, and that is only at the center. No other cup holders at all. The backseat passengers, well, they might be thirsty. There are some cheeky storage spaces in this car, like on here next to the steering column, and then on here. Well, I don't really think what you can fit there. Maybe a phone like this. Next we move on to the ashtray situation. You can see there is your normal ashtray. That's alright, but where is your cigarette lighter or 12-volt socket? It's over here, but it's covered. You cannot access it, but it's like it was almost trying to be a 12-volt socket, but it does not want to be a 12-volt socket. Or maybe it was not an option in the car, and SANTRO didn't want to change this whole thing, and so they put a plastic piece over there. Really bad design. Now next there are the blank switches. Now you see with some cars they have like some cheap cars, they have some blank switches. Even some high price luxury cars have blank switches, but this car has blank switches, and they're absolutely enormous. You can see 3 large blank switches up on the stereo. More on the stereo in a minute. And there is another next to the Hassellight switch. These are the most gigantic blank switches I've ever seen in any car. Now next we move on to the stereo, and you can see that the stereo is pretty normal. It has like a USB connector in here, but the funny thing is that it says protect in here. Protect. You'll wonder what that is for. Well, that means this stereo is broken. Another quirk of this stereo is that if you rent this car to some of your friends and they don't know about the stereo and they just want to turn on the stereo and they accidentally press this switch thinking that this is the on off switch or to remove this protect one, and they press on this switch, oops, and the stereo is somewhere down there. Probably you cannot see that. Then you have to kind of take the stereo from there and try to fix it somehow. Let me try to fix it. Alright, yeah. Phew. Never wanna mess with the stereo again, I think so. Now, like the cup holders, there are only very few speakers in this car. Hyundai has really tried to cheap out in this car for accessories. This car has 2 speakers. Yes, that's right. 2 speakers just up the front. 2 speakers. That is all what you get in this car as a passenger. If you are sitting at the rear seat, you'll be deaf. And the speaker is very cheap plastic. It's almost the same material as the dashboard, which is also cheap plastic. Everything is plastic in this car. It's not a good car. It's a cheap one. Next, there are the air vents in this car, which looks alright, and it's actually pretty useful. You might find it in some Ferraris and Mercedes, but the quality is not as good as those cars. You can see that you can rotate them completely. You can place them everywhere. Very convenient. After you see this one, you'll be thinking, what is this? Well, I don't know. I still want to find it out. If you guys know, you can comment it. Probably you won't know, so that's alright. Now, unfortunately, I can't find the owner's manual of this car, but you'll think, who wants an owner's manual? Who looked at anyways? Well, I don't know. Now, the roof of this car has this like dotty pattern all over the roof, which is unusual for this car, but I don't know what this is. But it looks like leather, but it actually is plastic as well. But it's soft as well, so it's I don't know, it's a plasticky leather material maybe. Next, I want to show you the gear lever of this car, which is absolutely bizarre. Take a look. So this is the gear lever of the car. Normal gear lever, you can hold it, no problem. So this is in neutral. And look at this, how much this wobbles. I have never seen a car whose gearbox wobbles this much. You can play boxing with this car, with this gearbox, with this gear lever. Look at this, I'm a boxing champion. Yes, boxing teams take me for boxing. Then we shift on to the first gear, and still you can play boxing. Look at this, I'm a boxing champion. Yes. Now the center console of this car is absolutely torn down, as you would expect from a second-hand car. Everything is torn down, but I think yeah. And there's the
weird mat in here which came out of nowhere with a wooden finish. I have never ever seen a car that has wooden finish on its floor with a mat like with a wooden finish. Now the first thing when you get inside the car and you notice is that when you sit on this car, you feel like you're not in a car. You don't feel like you're in a car, but you feel like you're in a truck because it's absolutely massive. Look at the headroom I have got. I can fit another baby in here if I want. That would be absolutely easy for that. So this car is not short. This car is absolutely tall. If you are a tall person and you can't get in any car, buy this one, which maybe you can buy only second hand now, but buy this car. You can absolutely fit in this car because this is gigantic. Now, because this car is so tall and you're going on a motorway and it's completely empty, it's very boring to drive, you can actually do a bit of dancing like this. You've been on board. Now next, there are the sun visors in this car. You can actually remove the sun visors from here and use it to block the sun over here. I know there are many SANTRO owners, maybe some SANTRO owners, looking at this and thinking, can it really do that? Yes, it can. Now, up to this time of ownership of this car, we have met with some bad luck. Like it gets punctured all the time. All the time you take this car, it just gets punctured. One time, we took this car to take my father to the airport and it got punctured. Then another time we went to the wedding and it punctured. Then another time we went to like a nearby store and it didn't start. And one time when we came back from the airport, smoke was coming out of the engine, so we were freaked out and we looked on the engine and couldn't find out what the issue was. I still don't know what the issue was, but it just started smoking and it shows that this engine is not reliable. Probably there might be like a coolant leak or something. Maybe the engine might have got warm to catch some smoke. Also, there are some weird noises coming from underneath the car. Maybe it's from the suspension, like when you turn the car, it's like, and it's not a good sign, you know. But yeah, there is. Driving this car is actually pretty comfortable. It's not as harsh as you would think. It's pretty comfortable. It goes over bumps. It goes over bumps pretty well. Yeah, on smooth road it just glides over. The suspension in this car is not as bad as you might think. Now when you move on to the back seats of this car, you immediately notice that half of your headroom is stolen. But don't worry, still there is a plenty of headroom. There is nothing really quirky or anything unusual with the back seats. They are comfortable to sit and they are reclined slightly as well, so it's comfortable. Now those are the quirks and the weird features of the SANTRO. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time.